What's going on, everyone? It's Rich Lex. In today's video, girl, you won't believe the drama. Okay, let's talk, because I feel like we need to talk. More information about the Travis Scott has surfaced. The Washington Post did a very good investigation, girl, and I have some opinions on it. You guys have been messaging me so much on my Instagram saying, have I seen it? And I finally saw it, and we're going to talk about it. And if you haven't seen it, that's okay, because I'm going to give you the rundown. I watched it so you don't have to. It really struck a nerve with me. When I watched it, I was compelled, moved. I was very emotional. I was very angry. I was very scared. It was a lot of that. And it was very well put together, I will say this. But there's like some key parts that I felt like they didn't mention because it's a Washington Post. They really can't give their opinion on this information. They just present the facts. But you know, I'm going to tell it like it is. So basically, what I loved about the article is that they posted a map, right? There was this geofence of showing you where the main stage was and showing you where the secondary stage was. And it shows you where the crowds of people were. And specifically how on one section of the crowd is where multiple deaths had taken place. It broke down why multiple deaths took place there, when, and they pieced together videos, and also lawyers who were there, who were representing people, are also like sharing footage. So it was a collaborated effort, right? And at the end of the documentary, right, it's like a 10-minute little documentary. At the end of it, it said that it was poor crowd management, poor crowd control. There are people's jobs in this world, believe it or not. There are YouTube channels dedicated to crowd control, crowd management. Like, it's a thing. It's a whole entire thing. And crowd behavior. So in this situation, I found that the main issue, just from my observation in the research team here, was that here you have one stage, and then you have another stage. You have the second stage and the main stage. And you have a lot of people are going to the second stage because the first stage, that's where the first one, the grand stage, that's where it's going to go down. That's where the main headliners are going to go. All the bus at the house, all the little opening acts, they're on the second stage. Okay? We're going to get back to that in a minute. The second stage was the opening acts. Okay? Then, when that ended, everybody moved over to the main stage. So here you go. Second stage, main stage. Everyone moved over to the main stage. So what that meant was you have a lot more people on this side of the stage than this side of the stage because there was no third stage on that side. So it's almost like an L, almost, you know? So I just think that it was more convenient because let's just say if me and you were there and we got there a little early, so we're watching the little headliners. We're watching the second stage, and it ends, and we know that they're going to perform on the main stage now. We mosey on over to the main stage. But, like, why would we go all the way to the other side of the field? We just stay right there. It was not that far of a walk. You think you're actually getting a good deal. You think, like, oh, man, I'm closer to the stage. A lot of people were thinking that. I just think it was in poor taste. Next, this is my opinion. After watching and doing the research, I think it was in poor taste that they had two stages, and that one of the stages was so close to the main stage, knowing damn well that when it ends from the second stage, people are going to migrate over to the main stage, but more toward one side, because people are just lazy and don't want to walk all the way to the other side. You know what I'm saying? It just, to me, is very interesting. I don't know why there was two stages. There really should have been two stages. I mean, every concert I've gone to, it's just been like one stage, the main stage, and they just kind of do it there. And I guess Travis Scott didn't want to be bothered with the other people. I don't know, girl. But I just say the second stage was too close to the main stage, which caused a lot of the situation that went down. If you had to have a second stage, should not have been anywhere close to the main stage. It should have been opposite direction. Main stage here, on the opposite side, second stage. If you put the main stage here, second stage, they're not going to go over here to line up. They're going to go right here. Like, it's just very interesting. That's the way I see it. What was very interesting, above all else, like I said, it's absolutely fascinating. What was fascinating, too, is that fact that the crowd movement you can see at a certain point when the crowd just like surged to the front. Usually a crowd, it's kind of like that, you know? If you've ever been to a concert, it's kind of like that. But then the way it moved forward, that means there was a surge and a rush. People fell, were getting trampled. There's people's faces are disfigured. I didn't even know that. They showed all the names. They showed all the people. It was very disturbing to watch. And looking at it, I'm just like... And the documentary didn't even put blame on anybody. It just presented the little facts that they had. Then you have like people yelling, "Stop the concert," but their voices aren't heard. Their voices are not heard. I'm just pausing right now because I'm just so like distraught, like thinking about it. It was like it's a huge thing.
You were at the mercy of the crowd, pretty much. There was no way you would have been able to move around or keep yourself stable.
Another thing that I found oddly weird is that, like, for some reason, it kind of painted Travis Scott in a light that he just didn't know. Which, you know, there's that whole thing. There's many questions, and I think that ultimately, if we were linked together, right, as humans, as we like to think that we are, in this situation, if somebody falls down, help them up. If somebody's yelling help, find out what's going on. It just seemed like there was some type of disconnect when you have a large pit of people yelling help, falling down, getting trampled. But then outside of that, no one's showing a cause for concern, like what's going on here, and passing on the word. It's almost a little bit selfish in a way to not pick up somebody that you saw fell down, or hearing people yelling help. Like, I often wonder, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, word travels fast and no one heard it, no one saw anything, no one wanted, like, the whole collectively as a giant audience, they didn't help each other. I just found that interesting too, you know? Then it ends, and then Travis Scott goes home. Apparently he goes to Dave & Buster's with Drake and stuff like that, and then Kylie Jenner starts promoting her Black Friday sales, and Travis Scott starts promoting his music. Nothing ever happened. And like, I just think that a lot of people were at fault, right? And in my other previous videos were like, oh, Travis Scott, you know, rah, rah, rah. But then as we dive into the investigations and more information has been coming out, you have to ask yourself, is this instigation or just information, right? A lot of salacious titles and stuff like that. With that being said, I kind of felt like, I think it's a lot of people were at fault. You know, yes, Travis Scott, he is, by no means am I trying to sanctify him, or I'm not trying to defend Travis Scott, because he can defend himself. But after taking steps back, a few hours, looking at everything, a lot of people dropped the ball, including the people who were there who didn't. I understand the concert, that there were people yelling to stop. But I'm just saying collectively, like, hey, we need some help. Pass it along. Pass it along. Pass it along. You know? Like, at what point did people were like, just didn't care? And we're just so selfish to try to get closer to Travis Scott or something like that. Live Nation's at fault. Apple Music's at fault. Travis Scott's at fault. I think, for some reason, the Houston Police Department doesn't want to answer some questions. I think a lot of people were at fault. There should have been more police, and there should have been more security, and there should have been more medics. That's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that they didn't do their jobs, because I feel like they did do their jobs, but they could have did their jobs better if there was more people there. But above all else, one of my takeaways from watching the film and doing these videos and leading up to this moment was that whoever designed the way that this concert was set up was absolutely the worst when it comes to the barricades and the people pushing forward, because there was no way out. Same way you went in is the same way out. Where are people going to go for an emergency? You know, it's just, there needs to be other exits to do that, other evacuation points. It was just very strange how it was set up. And I think whoever sat down and mapped this out, it was in poor taste and poor design. I've been to many concerts, and it's always one main stage and people are just in front of it, or one main stage and it turns 360, so no matter where you're at, you get a good view. I do think that whoever designed the way that the people were going to stand for this concert, that was horrible. So who was that? Who was at fault at that? Was that Live Nation's fault still? And then, again, Travis Scott not asking questions. I don't know. That's what. Let me know what you think about all that drama in the comments down below. But I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye. I love you so much.